We are back. This week, we are joined by Terry Caddo, President and CEO of the Burlington Chamber of Commerce. We talked about Ontario Place before the break, Terry. It's been in the news a lot lately. If you were back there and had a say in what it should become, what do you think they should do with
Well,
Ontario Place?
I'm kind of laughing at where we are now. So 15 years ago,
Mhm.
I did a presentation for Greg Zabara, who was the minister at the time, challenged to look at the future of tourism in Ontario and Ontario Place. And our presentation to him said, take the Science Centre, put it down at Ontario Place, make it Cinesphere, make it a world-class waterfront location. Then if you're open year-round, it makes sense. Expand the water park. We recommended bringing Great Wolf Lodge in.
Mm.
They're looking at that point now. So really, it took them 15 years to get to what we recommended 15 years ago. Build world-class waterfront destination, iconic for the city of Toronto. And there, but just, sometimes governments don't move quick and governments change, but they finally ended up with our recommendations from 15 years ago. It's kind of ironic.
I like that. I love the sounds of that too. And we both know Minister of Tourism now, Neil Lumsden, or like MPP Neil Lumsden. Maybe we should get a hold of him and have a lunch.
Yeah, I know. I was fortunate. We had Minister Lumsden out to an event.
Yeah.
We chatted about that and kind of the history that they had no idea of, because governments change, files don't transfer from one minister to the next. But they're finally getting around to activating a place that should be really a jewel of the city.
If I asked you, in your role at the Chamber, if I asked you a few years ago what the challenges you're hearing from your members were, it would probably be in order: pandemic, pandemic, pandemic. Is that still on the list, or what kind of challenges are businesses and your members facing today?
The number one thing chamber members, or all businesses, are facing nowadays is workforce development. There's not enough skilled labor, not enough skilled trade, not enough people that are able to do the jobs that people want. And that's probably the number one thing. And it's a complicated conversation. We don't have enough housing in the community to house all the new workers that are going. Lots of jobs that people just can't fill. If you're living in Georgetown or Milton, why would you take a train to Burlington for a job that you can get the same job, same wage nearby? And that's the challenge. It's kind of complicated. We're increasing immigration. We're trying to train more workers, but there's such a shortage. I was talking to the head of Leuna. They thought they could probably put 1 million more people to work tomorrow if they had enough skilled tradespeople in this country.
Wow.
So many opportunities. And that's what everybody's facing right now.
And they have to have somewhere to live too that's affordable as well. So it's got to be available. And one hand helps the other. So I guess your mandate then at the Chamber must be you can help your members out that way. But you're not just going to open up houses and stuff like that and say, come, we got a job for you and a place to live and all that. But what is the mandate then, and what are other things you can do to help out your members?
So we have 3 roles at the Chamber. One is to connect leaders, one is to educate our members, and the third one is active advocacy. And I've been working, Burlington's a great community. I've been working with the mayor, our elected officials, our city government, our city employees, as well as our builders. And we've had some conversations going back 18 months, and there's some really exciting things coming in Burlington. New community-based housing plan. We've got to build 35,000 new units in the next 20 years. And everybody working together is how we solve that problem. We can't be arguing with each other. And I think we've got the right people at the table that are working to solve some of those problems.
I think what you just alluded to is one of the things I've really seen you do at the Chamber since you've come on board is you always mix the politicians with the business people so they can hear each other and kind of work jointly together. And I'd like to congratulate you for doing that. And have you seen results from those events that you've been putting on?
Absolutely, and really have the opportunity. We have federal liberal representatives. We have provincial conservative representatives. Of course, city government is not connected to a party, but everybody's talking to each other, working to each other, and we see the problems, and people want to solve it. We've been fortunate. We've had 4 ministers in the last 6 months come out, meet with our members, hear people. Government officials, elected officials especially, want to try to resolve problems, and they're really open to hearing from. So one of the roles of the Chamber is to get everybody together, make sure there's a way of having a conversation and hearing each other, not yelling at each other, but hearing, listening, and kind of provide the opportunity for that to happen.
I think what you've done too is the partisan part too. Like everyone's talking to everybody. You don't have colors or anything like that. It's just we're all working together no matter what party we represent and so on.
The chamber, we're aggressively nonpartisan.
Right. I appreciate that. We need to break. Stick around. More with our guest, Terry Caddo, with When Canadian Innovators continues.